everybody, my name is Benjamin Bloom and I have just witnessed Sheffield United 1, Stoke City 1, and I'm not in my lovely car because Sheffield United have a nice hotel right next to their ground, so I'm in here slumming it, and this is a game that Sheffield United could and probably should have won, and they're going to consider this a missed chance up at the top of the table. They took the lead in the second half and it was a late goal that denied them, but here is what happened. The Blades line up with their normal 3-5-2, so Henderson in goal, Basham, Egan, O'Connell across the back, Freeman is the right wing back, Stevens is the left wing back. Two guys kind of holding back in centre midfield, Fleck and Norwood, with Duffy slightly ahead of them. Leon Clark and old Ipswich favourite David McGoldrick up front. Stoke sort of 4-2-3-1 here. Butland in goal, Martina, Williams, Martins, Indy and Peters at the back four. Woods and Allen, a lot of passing ability there in the centre midfield, kind of holding back. Ince off to the right, McLean off to the left, Berahino in the 10 position and Afobe up front. And I must preface this by saying the first time I've seen either of these teams play this season. I saw Sheffield United a few times last year, so I'm aware of the Chris Wilder style. And I haven't seen many of these Stoke players in the Championship, but I've certainly seen how Gary Rowett works. So this matchup was one that was probably familiar to me in that respect. The Blades, as you'd imagine, come out of the traps. O'Connell down the left fires it across. Freeman, he's got forward from right wing back into the middle of the box. Can't direct his shot on target. Lovely example of centre back crossing to right wing back in the first minute. I do like the way Sheffield United play, I have to say. Second minute, the Blades forward again down the right. Goes across, breaks for Fleck on the edge, takes a touch, smashes it at goal. It hits Martina in the face. I think more by luck than judgment there. Flies out for a corner. So the Blades make the early running, and on 11 minutes they have an absolutely brilliant chance here. Slide rule ball into Duffy, into the box on the right. Crosses it low, it bounces back, but there's so many men piling into the box. Falls out to Stevens. He's a left wing back. He desperately wants this on his left foot. He moves his feet quickly to try and open up his body, hit it left footed. It's a right foot shot all day long, and he snatches at it, puts the left footer over the top from, I don't know, 8 yards. Really, really good chance. Should have scored there. First effort for Stoke on 19. Ince comes in off the right. He feeds Berahino. He makes space. It's a 25-yarder, but it's a bit of a tame one with the left foot, and that one goes wide. Big boot into the channel for Clark on 23 to Chase. He overpowers Williams. Bit of a clash of the titans there. Chases into the box. Williams runs with him well, though. Clark brings it back on his left foot. Shoots low. Can't get any power on it. And comfortable save there, really, for Butland. Great move this by Stoke, passing through the thirds on 26 into Berahino. He hits a curler. It's a bit of a floaty one. Henderson makes the catch, but some indication of the way that they are planning to play when they do have the ball and when they do have a bit more confidence than they do at the moment. Straight up the other end, and Clark has one blocked. There was some good end-to-end passages in this half. 34, Stoke passing it again nicely. They get Martina forward for the first time, the fullback coming forward. Puts the cross in, it's floaty though. He needed more pace on it. Afobe, it's pretty much a free header, but he can't get any power on that, and an easy enough save for Henderson. Martina is forward again on 35. Puts it into the box. Berahino is in a race with Henderson, who I thought was a bit slowly off his line. They arrive at the same time, and a little bit of a dubious fall by Berahino there. Henderson didn't look pleased with that alleged dive. Now the Blades are going to be on top again on 36. Amazing cross this from Fleck. He's on the touchline facing away, and he curls it all the way across around. McGoldrick's arriving at the back post. He's charging, and it's a really good cross. He gets enough on it to get it on target. Doesn't exactly bullet it, and it's a kind of unorthodox save, I think, with the arm from Butland there. Although I think it was a case of McGoldrick getting anything on it and then Butland getting anything on it. Again, excellent play by Fleck there. Really creative moment from him. The Blades are on top again. Another great chance here. Duffy in off the right. It's Basham to Norwood to Basham again. Good one-touch stuff. Basham is in behind them. He's on the corner. Well, he's inside the box on the right-hand side. And he smashes it across. Clark's in there with an open goal. He throws himself at it. There's not enough composure there from Basham. Clark is inches away, but that could have been slid across nicely rather than fired across like that. And that's an open goal for Clark there. Just a bit of a lack of composure. I love it that they get these players forward in these positions, the centre-backs and the wing-backs, but I guess they don't have the composure that an attacking midfielder or a forward would have in those positions. Big cross-field one from Stevens, left to right. McGoldrick. This is classic David McGoldrick, this. Brilliant first touch. Moves forward. Swag, swag, swag. Pulls in. Works the defender. Engages him. Left foot shot. And just since all those injuries, we've hypothesised down at Ipswich, he just doesn't have the power in the shots for that explosion. Always, I think, would be preferring to be coming onto the end of something or feeding someone else through in that position. And it's an easy enough save for Butland. Corner for the Blades to end the half. O'Connell on the end of it, but can't direct the header. Half-time, good match-up this. Really enjoyed it. Love the way Sheffield United play. I don't know a team, definitely in the Championship, that plays with the positional freedom they do. The wing-backs so far forward, centre-backs pushing forward. The difference this season from last season is Norwood as well, joining Fleck in that midfield. We'll talk about that at the end, but certainly two very creative central midfielders there. They should have been in the lead in this half. They played on the front foot. Stoke, I wouldn't say Stoke were defensive. They sat back as we would expect, and they did use the ball well when they had it. So it wasn't necessarily attack against defence, but those two chances for Stevens and Basham crossing for Clark there, one of those at least should have given the Blades the lead, and they should have gone in. One up at least at half-time. Into the second half, no subs. United start well again. Duffy with the low cross. Bounces from McGoldrick. He needs two touches to control. We know a guy with his ability, if he takes two touches, he needs two touches. But by the time he pulls back the left foot, his shot is blocked from 8 yards. Fleck, speculative volley on 50 minutes, flies over. A nice counter from Stoke on 53. Two good crossing positions down the left. I think Peters and then McLean ends up with a dipping volley from Peters. Over at this point, you start to see Allen and Wood start to have a little bit more impact on the game. They're less going backwards and more picking up the ball and dictating the play. As I said, a lot of passing ability between those two. Woods is probing on 58, feeds Martina ahead of him down the right. Good cross. McLean arriving, wins their header from 6 yards, powers in, doesn't get it on target. Best chance of the game for Stoke there. He was so close in and he arrived so well. I think maybe arrived too fast and he couldn't keep the header down. Good chance there. Good play by Stoke. The Blades trying to get the team back up the pitch. They box Stoke in. It falls to Fleck, but he swipes that one well over with a left foot from 25 yards. On 63, great work by Basham and Freeman down the right. In it goes low to Duffy. He's arriving on the near post with the keeper, with the defender. Can't force it in there. On 65, somewhat of an attacking substitution by Stoke. They're going to go 4-4-2 here. Crouch comes in for Berahino. Berahino was operating behind Afobe. We know Crouch isn't going to do that, especially at these advancing years. Up front he goes, and you would think that would open the midfield up a little bit for the Blades to play through. Corner from the right for Stoke here. Afobe's up with Henderson. It flashes across, beats both of them. Crouch is arriving, but obviously he only has a split second to see this, and he can't sort his feet out. As it kind of ricochets off him and goes wide, it looks like he knows if he had have seen that just a little edge earlier, there's an open goal there. So interesting. Even if Crouch doesn't get the ball, he causes such chaos with people who look after him. Has done all his career. Just a fascinating player to watch, Crouch. Martin's Indy with the foul on 69, takes the yellow card, and this is going to be an important foul because he gives away a free kick, and this game is now going to be decided by free kicks. This is 30 yards out, centrally. The wall goes up. Norwood is going to take it right-footed, up he steps. He absolutely smashes it. Instep of the right foot, curls it around the wall. It's a brilliant strike. Butland flings himself across the goal, smashes off the post. Great effort by Norwood. Out it comes. Everybody now converges on the goal. Basham's there. He gets something on it, but not everything on it. It's going towards the goal. The whole ground is up. Is he going to fall for a blade? Is it going to fall for Stoke? It falls for Clark, and he forces it in from about 2 yards. Sheffield United take the lead there. So that was 69 minutes in. Strangely, they probably deserved to take the lead a lot more in the first half, but they get it from the free kick there. Clark followed in. Great strike from Norwood, and it looks like a substitution has backfired there for Stoke. They put on their attacker and immediately go behind. On 71, Stoke trying to come back into it. Allen, lovely ball through for Ince. Nice dribble, shoots low, left-footed from inside the box. Henderson down well to save. Stevens clatters into Allen. Through it goes. Ref plays advantage. Ince again in the inside right position. Cuts in on his left foot and curls over inside the box. Again, I think Ince, a lot of Stoke's best moments went to Ince, and well, I'll speak about him at the end. I just don't know if he had the final product, end product, whatever you want to call it, today. Double sub by Stoke. They're going to make the chase here. Bojan in for Peters. Edwards in for Martinez. So both the fullbacks go out and attacking players coming in here. Another chance for Ince. Direct free kick this time. Does the Cristiano Ronaldo. Legs apart, steps up. It's all a bit show ponyish. It's straight into the wall. Now, we had one substitution backfire. Stoke making an attacking substitution and immediately conceding a goal. Well, history is going to repeat itself here. On 85, Chris Wilder brings in Washington for McGoldrick, maybe for more a physical presence up front rather than McGoldrick's flair there. Just two big guys for the ball to stick. Stearman comes in for Duffy. So you take your creative midfielder, your more forward midfielder, and Basham is then going to step into midfield. Very obvious he's shoring this up to go for the win. Immediately, though, a free kick is forced for Stoke. Now, it's in exactly the same position that Ince's was a couple of minutes before. He's had his go at this, so Allen is going to step up, and it looks like it's going to go into the mixer now. So it's just to the right of goal, I don't know, 25 yards out, good position. Ince has already shot one into the wall. So up comes Williams, up comes Martin Zindi. Crouch is there. They all line up on the back post. As Allen steps up, they all make their move. But this is clever stuff. Allen does not cross it at all. He hits it around the wall, really low. And even though Henderson's position is probably okay, the pace on the ball and the surprise is enough to catch him out. It's a really clever free kick from Stoke. Everyone's watching the guys at the back post. Allen swings it round on the floor. Clever goal, fools Henderson, and it's 1-1. And if you're a Sheffield United fan, you would say they've snatched one at the end there. Coots comes in for Freeman on 90 minutes. And there is one more bit of play here. Coots goes into the box. It goes loose to Fleck. He pokes it a goal. There's a big handball shout, but it's very much we're up the end with all the Sheffield United fans, and it's 93rd minute. Let's appeal for it, and the ref gives nothing. So the game ends 1-1. On reflection of the second half was pretty even, much more so than the first half. You would say that's a fair result. But if you factor the whole game in the first half, you would say that's 2 points dropped for Sheffield United. They really should have gone in ahead and drawn Stoke out earlier than they did. When it got into the second half, like I say, it was more of an even game, and Allen and Woods got on the ball a little bit more. And then, strangely, in these games, you expected Sheffield United to score when they were on top in the first half. They didn't score from that free kick. and then exactly the same thing happens. They make their sub, and then Stoke score from the free kick. So, look, it was a really, really good battle between two different style managers. Wilder, very, very up and at him, you know, centre-halves going forward, wing-backs way, way forward. It's interesting to see what Norwood's brought to the Sheffield United team, because that emphasis of creativity was always on Fleck last year. I'd be interested to hear from Blades fans. How does this affect Fleck, Norwood being there? Does it free Fleck up a bit more? Is there less for him to do now? Because Norwood really looks like an excellent deep line playmaker. So there should be a good balance in that midfield three for Sheffield United if you've got a deep line playmaker, a kind of box-to-box guy, and then Duffy further forward. So I know Wilder doesn't draw many games, so it's sod's law for me to see one. But I think in the end, I mean, Stoke were never out of it. It was never attack versus defence. As you'd expect with a Gary Rowett team, they're solid team shape-wise. They've still got a lot of Premier League players, but there isn't any doubt in the first half, Sheffield United were clearly the better side, and in the second half, it was a lot more even. But they showed their quality, and as I said, the thing that swung the pendulum a little bit their way was just Allen and Woods getting more and more into the game, becoming less defensive. My question for Stoke fans would be just a little bit about sort of Berahino particularly. They're quite big name players, and I found Ince a little bit fluffy today. He's very pretty to watch, and you know, he stops when he receives it, and he's full of flair and flamboyance, but not a lot of end products. And is Berahino wasted a bit in a sort of 10 position behind a Phobie? I know that's how the majority of teams play now, with one guy forward, but is there maybe Bojan would be better in that position? But hey, maybe the Stoke management doesn't fancy him on a Tuesday night away at Chris Wilder's Sheffield United. So Stoke fans, surely far too much quality to stay in, I think 17th where they were. How do you see the season panning out? I would say with Allen and Woods there, you won't find a better passing partnership for a 2 in a 4-2-3-1 there in the league. So certainly hope there, and surely you'd be expecting to go up the table. Sheffield United fans, bit of a disappointing week so far. Lost at Derby and late equaliser, obviously, today. Was this just one of those days? The late goal goes in against you. I think they did enough to certainly have had a lead to defend going into the second half, and the second half would have been very different. I like what Wilder's done. Egan looks nice and solid, added in there. Norwood, I would say, was Sheffield United's best player today. He strings everything together really, really nicely there. But I just don't know about what impact it has on Fleck. He certainly has less of a role than he did last year, which might be a good thing if they're a bit less reliant on him the whole time. Obviously, it amuses me to see David McGoldrick playing like 85 minutes every game and looking decent there. I just hope you don't fall in love with him when he gets injured like every time when we fell in love with him at Ipswich. So, Sheffield United fans, is this a playoff challengey season? You would imagine over the course of the season, people like Borough, Leeds, these guys at the top, maybe even Derby might sneak up through there. Bloody Norwich at the moment as well, I hate to say it. So maybe top 8 rather than top 2 is probably where the Blades would be aiming. But let me know what you think in the comments. I really enjoyed the game. It's always good to see a home team really going for it and a away team being challenged. Let me know what you think in the comments. If you're a Blades fan or a Stoke fan, if you saw it differently to me, then let me know in the comments. Just keep it civil, as we always say on YouTube. Thumbs up if you enjoyed the review. And what I'd really love if you subscribe to the channel. I'm going to try and get to as many Championship games as I can this season, review as many teams as I can. So yeah, subscribe and you'll see a lot more content on here. Follow me at Benjamin Bloom on Twitter, and God, I will be at Leeds versus Ipswich tomorrow, where if Ipswich escape alive, I'll be very, very pleased. Thank you for watching. Over and out.